Everybody, here with EQ Hammer covering SOE Live 2014. I've got Thom here, the guy, he covers everything. He's the main man there on the EverQuest franchise. We're going to talk to him a little bit about some things that are coming new this year in the game and some past things that they're adding, or that they've added this year. So, Thom, I know you guys have like a few things that are main points of emphasis. One of them this year seems to be inventory management and just helping improve the inventory with the new loot system that's coming and stuff like that. Can you give us a few more details on, what you guys were plans for that and why it was such a big point of emphasis?
Well, if you're playing a game, you do come across inventory situations all the time. Just really from playing the game, you see that you've come across your mounts are in different locations here and there. And it is difficult to track things down, so it just made sense. We've talked about it for probably the last couple of years of different things to do with mount keyring, familiar or pet keyrings, and it just makes sense. It's just better management tools for the players, and that's allowing them to have more fun in the game instead of managing an inventory pain. So.
Definitely. You guys also have a new big expansion coming up for this year. Can you talk a little bit about what you're bringing with that expansion, maybe like what you wanted to bring to the table, what you wanted players to feel and experience, and then also a little bit about the main characters that you're choosing to kind of bring into this as big players in the expansion with how they're going to interact in the lore?
Yeah, you touched base on it. We have kind of an expansion that's kind of paying tribute to the Buried Sea expansion years ago, and so we're kind of doing a revisit to some areas of, underneath the water. We're gonna have islands that float out of the water. We're gonna have underground domes that players are gonna adventure in. So we have some exciting locations, and I think because of the stories we've told in the past, it just makes sense to bring back some iconic characters like Feriona V and Lannisterville. They've kind of been absent from the current storylines lately, and they're just iconic. I mean, Feriona is almost on every cover expansion that we have, so she's been absent. We're bringing her back, and we have a great story between the two of them, tug of war of good versus evil. So, we want the players to come in with a sense of being a hero and saving, the turmoil that's going to be created by Lannis, and hopefully the good that Feriona always portrays, and help her in her endeavors.
You mentioned going back to the Buried Sea and it being underwater. I know a lot of players might be familiar with Kedge Keep. Is there any... what type of underwater mechanics are you guys going to go with? Are you going to avoid kind of being totally submerged? Can you describe the environments for the underwater thing a little bit? Is there any...
There's going to be some under the water, gameplay. There's not going to be a lot. I've played in Kedge. You too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, there's some pains when you're getting hit by something and you can't tell where it's coming from. So there'll be some travel under the water, but most of it's going to location. Location, islands, domes, castles under the water, and islands in the sky. So the gameplay, if there's concern about always fighting in water all the time, you don't have to worry about that. There'll be some element of that, but not the entire expansion. And islands in the sky.
What are your favorite parts about the new expansion that you guys are adding as far as environments or types of characters or different races that are involved in this expansion?
Oh, wow. So
what are your favorite parts about the new expansion that you guys are adding as far as environments or types of characters or different races that are involved in this expansion?
Oh, wow. So in the Arksman zone, the cultists that we have in the game, new models, awesome. They're exceptionally new characters, awesome looking, little evil, dark, and hey, how about those the cultists that we have? We got dinosaurs on an island, and they're just awesome. People love to fight dinosaurs. A lot of boys on our team create dinosaurs. But probably the best thing that I like, I would have to say, is the way that we keep on pushing our environment engine and the character models to look better and better every year. The game's 15 years old, so we're kind of limited. We're always pushing, what we can do or what the engine can do. So I would say the effort of my team to actually, create great vistas is probably my favorite thing.
Awesome. And as far as you guys have for new dungeons that are being added for these, what types of different mechanics are you kind of emphasizing that exist in the game that you might want to re-highlight with these new types of dungeons and things that people enjoyed? What is new about the new dungeons that you want to bring to the table?
Well, there is something different we're doing with some AA progression. We are usually in the past, you would get your AAs and you'd have most of your power kind of at the beginning of the expansion. What we're going to try to do is give you a little bit of it and actually allow you to go get the rest of your power, progress or progression out in the world. So it moves it from getting it early to getting it all throughout the expansion. So that's a new thing, and I think players will enjoy that because sometimes the casters will get all their spells, and it takes a while for the melee to get theirs. So, I think that's going to be kind of evened out, and I think players will really enjoy that.
That's really good. I know being an EverQuest player back in the beginning, just having that balance issue with the melee and casters, it's cool to see you guys still 15 years later, trying to constantly refine that. So that's pretty cool. I guess the last thing that I wanted to talk about, I know you guys are adding some new player studio stuff, a new category to your what you're doing there. Are you guys planning to add more categories after that? And how much do you want to expand on the player studio with these new implementations?
Well, yes. So we're doing robes. We're doing player robes, and so we're going to be putting up some sample textures of robes that players can download and create something that they like. You want to change the color, and they can do that. And I thought it'd always be great for guilds to kind of get together and, guild members to get together and make something unique for their own guildies. So I kind of hope they'll do that. That'd be kind of cool to see them, distinguish themselves from other players. And if you get a good artist, you can make something pretty awesome that everybody will be envious. So other categories, we're always talking about them. We've talked about doing some other things like, hair and, things like that. But we're not doing them yet. It's still just kind of in talks. But this is one thing we're doing right now. It's the first category since we launched Player Studio. So we're excited about that, and we'll see what we can do, see how well it does, and see if we can get some good artists to come in and make something pretty unique.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a nice day.